Hey, good morning. Patricia Murphy here. It's Saturday. This is Seattle Now. Today we're bringing you the best from the KUOW Newsroom. We'll start with an update on the Seattle police officers who attended President Trump's rally on January 6th, 2021. After years of legal battles, the city of Seattle has disclosed the names of all of those officers. The city has also released records, including interviews, where the officers say they knew nothing of the violent siege going on inside the U.S. Capitol. Amy Radel has this story.
All 6 Seattle police officers say they attended at least part of President Trump's speech near the White House that day, in which he falsely claimed the election had been stolen. That's where a married couple, officers Alex Everett and Caitlin Rochelle, say they posted a photo that was spotted and reported by a colleague, triggering SPD's investigation. In Alex Everett's interviews with Seattle's Office of Police Accountability that spring, he tells investigators he's aggravated because he's been the subject of media attention and death threats.
I have spent hours scouring the internet for stupid websites that have your personal information. You sit there and scrub this stuff off because my family's listed on there, my wife's listed on there. I have to worry about my family potentially being attacked from this.
Everett says he and his wife are facing punishment for nothing more than wearing MAGA hats in public. He describes walking towards the Capitol that afternoon and seeing peaceful crowds waving flags and singing the national anthem. Investigator Mark Gerba is skeptical.
The reason why there's repeated questions is to try to reconcile how you can be that close and not know anything about what's going on. When the Capitol Police themselves have said that if you were a police officer and you were in that area, you would have absolutely had some understanding that there was problems.
Other protesters describe hearing explosions and smelling tear gas. The FBI later provided a video clip in which Everett and Rochelle can be seen with people scaling the Capitol walls behind them. Former Police Chief Adrian Diaz fired the two in August 2021 for trespassing and undermining public trust. Investigators said their findings against another officer, Sergeant Scotty Bach, were inconclusive. He told investigators he was in a restaurant when he got the emergency alert declaring a curfew that afternoon.
Take my food back to my hotel room and I watch in horror what's happening at the Capitol. I'm disgusted, and I did what I thought was right, was book the next flight out. So I'm online, I'm out of here. I do not want to be part of this. This is not what I'm here for.
Investigators obtained video in which 2 more SPD officers, Detective Michael Settle and Sergeant Jacob Brisky, can be seen standing with former SPD officer Adelie Shepard just minutes before a group of Proud Boys breaks through barriers on the way to the Capitol. But Brisky tells investigator Mark Gerba his group had turned the other way to find food. Gerba says that's surprising.
That group gets a lot larger, and then shortly thereafter, it kind of explodes and does whatever it does there.
Sure.
From a people watching perspective, it seems like a lot of people would be drawn to just what is going on here type of scenario versus let's go to lunch.
Sergeant Brisky suggests he intentionally walked away.
Seeing those crowds, from a police officer's perspective, I don't want to be anywhere around those groups of people, to watch what they're doing or get caught in the middle of anything that they may or may not do.
Investigators did verify that Brisky and Settle spent the afternoon in a nearby restaurant. Brisky is one of 2 officers in this group still employed by SPD. The other is Officer Jason Marchion, who told investigators he went back to his hotel room after Trump's speech. The officers sued unsuccessfully to keep these records from being disclosed. They dropped their case last month. A representative for the Seattle Police Officers Guild told investigators they were concerned that officers faced retaliation simply for having unpopular political views in Seattle. Amy Radel, KUOW News.
Next, a story about stolen and vandalized art in Seattle. It's been a little more than a year since the statue of Sadako and the Thousand Cranes was stolen from a park in the University District. It depicted a young girl who survived the Hiroshima bombing. Since then, the city has seen an uptick in other public art being tampered with. KNKX arts and culture reporter Freddie Menares has that story.
The small bronze feet are all that remain of the Sadako and the Thousand Cranes statue here at Peace Park. They're surrounded by large bushes of fragrant lavender. Yellow, orange, and blue paper cranes are scattered at the site. Jonathan Betzall is with University Friends Meeting, a Quaker church that is leading the effort to replace it.
Almost everything that's left out in the open around here gets taken. That's just the fact of urban life. But people are also leaving things, like I see a number of artificial flowers around the feet right now.
The statue commemorates Sadako Sasaki, a Japanese girl who died of leukemia 10 years after the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb on Hiroshima in 1945. While hospitalized, she folded 1,300 cranes, a symbol of peace, hope, and healing in Japanese culture. So when the statue was erected in Seattle,
people started bringing and hanging strings of paper cranes all over the statue, to the point that oftentimes you could not see the statue. It was totally covered.
The statue was stolen last year in July. Even though it was admired by many, its disappearance is a reminder that public art in the city is not immune to theft or vandalism. Seattle's Office of Arts and Culture recently wrote a blog post about how to report stolen bronze public art. It comes after 14 reports of artwork that have either been stolen or vandalized since 2020. Most of the pieces are believed to have been sold to scrapyards, and there often aren't leads to suspects in these cases. Just this past May, a pedal was sawed off the tall Narramore fountain located in downtown near 6th Avenue and Seneca Street. It was created by the late Seattle artist George Sadako and installed in 1966. It's part of the city's public art collection, but it's now in storage. It's Sadakawa's second piece of work that has been tampered with since 2020. Jason Huff manages the public art collection for Seattle. He says the Sadako family is aware of the vandalism.
There's sadness and, outrage at this, but it's just sort of an understanding and knowing that we're working with them and working with, to find solutions for the future so that we can preserve this.
Another incident a few weeks ago happened on the campus of the University of Washington. Strips of copper were pried out of a large cement art piece created to look like tree rings. UW police say 10 pounds of copper were reported missing on July 23rd. The metal was stamped with intricate designs. Janae Huber is with the Washington State Arts Commission, which maintains this piece.
Anytime we have a loss of those, it's not an offense against me as an individual. This is like, these are publicly owned cultural assets that we want to take care of.
Back at the Peace Park in the University District, Sadako's bronze feet will be attached to a new aluminum sculpture. The plan also calls for lighting, benches, and large steel ginkgo leaves standing over the figure. Seattle artist Saya Moriyasu is creating the new piece. She says Sadako will be depicted smiling, stretching out her hands, and wearing a kimono, which her parents gifted her after she was diagnosed with leukemia.
So I thought, well, why don't I put a kimono on Sadako? But let's imagine her as the young girl that never got sick and was enjoying her kimono and feeling the freedom of the kind of wing-like feelings of the kimono, which kind of also reflects the cranes that she was folding.
Jonathan Betzall with University Friends is helping to raise the $300,000 needed to pay for the work. He's hoping for small donations so that more people feel a shared sense of responsibility.
If all these people contributed to it, then I believe that there's going to be all this psychic energy kind of standing guard around it, upholding it, spreading the message.
The plan is to get the replacement statue installed around this time next year. Betzall says if there was one word to describe what he's feeling about the project, it's solidarity. In Seattle, I'm Freddie Monades.
We're closing things out with some more love for one of Seattle's most legendary athletes. T-Mobile Park has a new plaque, one that honors Ichiro Suzuki and retires his number, 51. A sold-out crowd at T-Mobile showed lots of love to the Hall of Fame outfielder last week. Natalie Akane-Newcomb was there.
Over 45,000 people crammed into T-Mobile Park to see the jersey number 51 retired during Saturday's pregame show.
Tonight we honor one of the most dynamic players in baseball history. A Mariner through and through and the 10th member of the Seattle Mariners Hall of Fame, Ichiro Suzuki.
The team unveiled a plaque and announced that they would build a statue to celebrate the Japanese outfielder who got baseball's highest honor 2 weeks ago.
Now please welcome to the podium, the man of the hour, National Baseball Hall of Famer number 51, Ichiro Suzuki.
Ichiro strutted through the field and walked towards the pitcher's mound in a clean black suit.
What's up, Seattle?
It's a rare occurrence for Ichiro to speak publicly, especially in English.
I am so grateful to be here today to receive this highest of honors. But whose idea was it to have me give 2 speeches in English in 2 weeks? It's one of the toughest challenges of my career. I would like to begin by quoting my favorite philosopher, George Kenneth Griffith Jr. I'm damn proud to be a Seattle Mariner.
Legends like Ken Griffey Jr., Edgar Martinez, Felix Hernandez, and Randy Johnson sat behind him as he spoke. Johnson wore the number 51 before Suzuki joined the team. But that number was Ichiro's when he was in Japan.
For 9 years in Japan, that is the only number I ever had. By the time I came to Seattle, 51 was part of my identity, but I knew that number already had a rich history here.
He thanked Johnson for letting him wear the number for many years. In the stands, diehard fans like Audrey Bastian and her family cheered. Bastian is Japanese American. She said she was a big fan of Ichiro when she was growing up, and her mother even considers him as an honorary son.
I think Ichiro taught us how to win and be humble, that the little things matter. He taught us.
A number of fans made the journey from Japan to celebrate Ichiro, including Ryotaro Tani and his father, Hideki. Hideki says watching the ceremony with his son made him emotional. The Tani family lived in New Jersey for about 4 years, back when Ichiro was still playing. I was living in the U.S. At the same time, Ichiro was playing in the U.S. Watching him play made me feel encouraged. I knew I had to be here today. Ryotaro says he was in elementary and middle school at the time and played baseball with Americans who were bigger than him. When I used to play baseball in the U.S., just like Ichiro, I was relatively small compared to the players around me. He gave me lots of courage to keep playing. After Ichiro said his thank yous during his speech, he turned to the current Mariners and told them that this can be their season.
I am confident you can seize the moment. Now, let's play ball!
And the Mariners went on to win that night. Natalie Akane Newcomb, KUOW News.
Thanks for listening to Seattle Now. Our production team includes Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Andy Hurst, Vaughn Jones, Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you soon.